Good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat right here on Prime FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed on Radio Gagema, that is in Nima County, Radio Kwatika in Bonk, and of course, Radio Urugisi in Lofa County. We are also being relayed by Witness FM. Witness FM is in Monrovia. We are streaming live on our Facebook and, of course, our YouTube page. If you want to follow the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat out on your Facebook or your YouTube, and then you subscribe. We want you to share tonight's edition. Besides, we are also streaming live on Prime FM Facebook page. That is Prime FM Moravia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Moravia 105.5. Tonight promises to be very, very interesting. We want you to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the nighttime heat. Well, my panelists will shortly be here. I'm sure Moses Sandy and George Kennedy will be here tonight. And of course, tonight, principally, we'll be looking at the oration delivered by Reverend Emmett Dunn. You know, he was the speaker for our July 26th Independence Day program. And of course, he spoke very lengthily. We'll be looking at this speech tonight. My guests and panelists will be trying to do a post analysis about some of the things that he said. But before then, you know, Liberia has been reaffirmed again by the MCC compact to get about to secure 500 million. We'll talk about that between 8 to 8:30. That 500 million, I'm sure it's basically intended for some infrastructure development. You know, the Minister of Finance also threw lights on that today. He held a press conference. We'll talk about that. And I'm sure also we'll talk about drivers' protests, you know, the issue of the Liberia traffic management is still taking the forward. You know, it continues to come into the public. So we'll talk about that because some drivers today grounded their vehicles. So we'll talk about that between 8 to 8:30. And then at 8:30, our guests will be here. We'll talk about, do a post analysis of the oration delivered by Reverend Emmett Dunn. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Don't go away, because we'll be right back after the same.
Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. Let's start.
Well, of course, we are starting now. My two panelists, in fact, they are here on time today. George Kennedy is here. He just arrived. Moses as well. Let me welcome Moses. Moses, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to be back uh, for a post analysis. You know, July 26th was well celebrated in places where a lot of Liberians reside in the diaspora. So it's good to be back. George, how are you today, my brother? It's a pleasure to
I'm
have
great.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm great. So, I'm the
Okay.
other colleague, Sandy, Mr. Sandy. Thank you.
And George, how
Sure,
was the
you're
weekend?
welcome.
It was very beautiful. I mean, it was rewarding. It was beautiful. And I'm proud of the Liberian people, in spite of all of the challenges, in spite of everything we've been through as a nation and people. I'm proud that we really celebrated our country. Yeah, I'm proud.
Okay. In fact, some Liberians, in the U.S., they were celebrating, in grand style, and
Yeah.
I also impressed. I said, "Wow!" So Liberians, do also understand, that this day, especially those on that side. I know some of them left their work as well, but I still see you wearing your Independence Day T-shirt.
I mean, this year's Independence Day, this celebration, it's not about the money you have in your pocket. I see the spirit of patriotism in the Liberian people. I see the spirit of nationalism in the Liberian people. So, once you love your country, you will start pushing for that country to grow. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I saw on Saturday. You saw the SKD back to capacity. The Liberians start performing. This is the first time. I don't know if in the 80s it happened or 70s when we were small, to see a Liberian star musician
Okay.
got the entire stadium up and down. I mean, up and down in terms of crowd support. I started asking people, was it free? They said no. There were tickets sold. I said, wow. In spite of the economic challenges, in spite of everything I went
still
through,
went there.
I see people celebrating here like this and across the world. Man, thumbs up to the people of Liberia.
That was
I
very
want to say
impressive.
thank you. Yeah.
Let me ask, Sandy, were you, in the thick of the celebration? I think part of the U.S. saw Liberians, gathered together. Were you amongst them?
Yes, definitely I was. I was part of the celebration. In fact, my entire family was part of the celebration.
Oh, that's good.
And like the both of you, said earlier, there was a sense of patriotism, love of country, and people trooping. I reside in the state of Delaware. I'm closer to Washington, D.C. So there were celebrations in Delaware, celebrations in the state of Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia, New Jersey. We are in the tri-state region. I saw people in the numbers. In the state of Minnesota, where you have a greater percentage of Liberians residing, people also show up in the numbers. So that's plausible. That's something that we all should employ, because people really show the world that hey, they belong to a country in West Africa, a very small country in West Africa, but they love their country and they are gradually making a comeback. However, like I said before, the question we asked now after the celebration, what next? All the pumping partying, what next? It's like you celebrated your birthday, you spent $200,000. So then what next? That's the question that we need to answer. And that's why there's a discussion tonight, so it's very important. The post analysis of what the orator said. I mean, the orator talked to all Liberians. He spoke to the clergy. He spoke to politicians. He spoke to ordinary Liberians. He spoke to the president. He spoke to a cross section of people. I think it was an excellent speech, well delivered, well tailored, well targeted as well. Thank you.
Okay, so gentlemen, we'll be going to the speech when our guests come. We'll be going to that in totality. That's the focus of tonight's edition. But first, between now and 8:30, I want us to look at the big news that came. We heard the Minister of Finance addressing the press today, talking about Liberia's reaffirmation for our eligibility for the compact, the MCC. So we're trying to upload the video to play so that we all can talk about that before we can go into our discussion. We also heard about protests by some commercial drivers. We understand that the bulk of the drivers on the highway were involved with a protest today, trying to protest against the operation of the Liberia Traffic Management Again, we can just talk briefly about that before our guests can come in. But let's try to play this tape quickly. Continue the voice of the Minister of Finance quickly.
A formal letter from Mrs. Alicia Robinson Morgan, whom we met before when we met the MCC. She is the Deputy Vice President for Compact Operations, informing us that the MCC board, that the MCC has proposed Liberia for reaffirmation, and that the board is meeting early next week, sometime next week, to consider and possibly do the reaffirmation. So where we are, given all the indicators, we are hopeful that our country, your country, Steve Masters' country, Kevin Deming's country, Leonard Doodle's country will be approved for reaffirmation. What does that mean? It means that where we were in the process, when the pause button was pressed, it means that the play button will be pressed. So where we were, we'll continue from there.
Okay, we just listened to the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Augustin Gaffouan. Let me get it right. I was being distracted. So he just told us about that we should be hopeful that will be approved to receive that. And then I also have something. I know it's also about what he said. Let me get it right. It's just a script. Let me read that quickly. Finance Minister Augustin Gaffouan has officially confirmed that Liberia received an official communication from the governing board of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, the MCC, reaffirming a compact for the West African nation. The potential compact award and estimated $500 million is expected to make a major milestone in the nation's development journey. The announcement comes after the MCC Board of Directors approved Liberia's eligibility in December 2024. Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia, Minister Gaffouan expressed optimism and pride in the government's achievement. The president was not just speaking good English. In Washington, he was making strategic moves on multiple fronts, Gaffouan said. After months of review, we received a formal letter from we just said that on tape. But let me ask, what's your impression, George Kennedy?
The statement issued by the Ministry of Finance, technically, was that statement issued by the Ministry of Finance? The statement just read.
It was online. Something written.
That reader, I think, speaks to the fight that when we sat in this seat a few weeks ago, and we said at the Liberian delegation, the investment conference, the African American Investment Forum that was here in the United States. It wasn't just that brief meeting with President Trump. It contained a lot of behind the scene discussions. And we knew that this Liberia's reaffirmation of MCS's reaffirmation of Liberia was part of that discussion. And a lot of people talked to us. And today, some of them are going around and say, "Oh, Liberia won't get $500 million." Go and sleep, friends. This is a goal. It's a done deal. President Trump doesn't meet his words when he's ready for issue. If he's not ready for you, he will tell you clear he's not ready for you. And that's one good character that he has. I may disagree with him on a lot of issues, but he didn't want to support Liberia. Liberia wasn't going to sit on that table. So, and he wasn't even going to praise Liberia for anything. He was not even going to invite you either, or invite us. So we expect a lot of things. All we need to do back home as Liberians and our government is to do the right thing. Govern well, seek your people's interests, make sure that you improve infrastructure, fight corruption, not just go beyond the suspension and turn it over to the LACC. You have the right to appoint and dismiss. All right? So the president needs to be very drastic on corruption and try to put efforts on improving the livelihood of the people, the economy, for example. I love the committee that he set up in a time frame that he gave 45 days for them to report by why prices are high on the market, and when the RPD costs seem to be very less and other things. So those things, you need to work for the people, because the intent, America's intent, is to make sure that our country is okay, so that the influence of our citizens into their country will be less. And, so
Okay.
that type of pressure, yeah.
Okay, so let me hear from Moses. Moses, what's your take, or what's your impression about the latest regarding the MCC compact?
Good news. It is indeed a good news, but I want us to be a little bit cautious. Cautious in terms of how we interpret the message from the Minister of Finance. You listen to the Minister of Finance, he says that he received a communication from the deputy head of the MCC. In that communication, he was told that there will be an imminent meeting to reaffirm, and he said he was hopeful. He was hopeful that the $500,000 or whatever, monetary
100 million, yeah,
war will be reaffirmed. So if he says that he's hopeful, it means that the MCC has not reaffirmed. He was only informed that there will be a meeting, a reaffirmation meeting. So it is like it goes both ways. They can go to the meeting and decide, say, hey, Liberia, we gave you the $500,000. I mean, $500 million.
Yeah,
the 500. Yeah, they can go to that meeting and say, hey, Liberia, we gave you the $500 million. It is also likely that the board can meet and say, hey, Liberia, we made a commitment to you before, but based on training issues in your country, we believe we are not convinced that you are actually measuring up to the expectation of the MCC. On that basis, we cannot give you the $500 million. We can give you $100 million. We can give you $3 million. That's what the minister said. He's hopeful. He's hopeful. He didn't say that the MCC has reaffirmed. And what many people are running with is that the MCC has reaffirmed. No, Gafon didn't say that. Gafon said he received a communication letting him know that there will be a reaffirmation meeting, and he's hopeful that whatever commitment the MCC made will be upheld. That's the clarity I want to provide.
Do you agree with him?
sure. It's the same. But I just wanted to add that the way this system works, there are a lot of countries that were on the MCC program. They have not been rating. The fact that, in fact, the board can decide to meet concerning Liberia, special meeting for Liberia, and looking at our relationship. Sierra got 480 million, compared. So a British colony, a former British colony. A lot of other countries, few other countries got some of these, the MCSS compact funding. So we are even more hopeful I believe, on a serious note, that if there were no plan for Liberia, there wouldn't have been meeting for Liberia for such. The meeting in the United States made a lot of inroads, and the results, in my belief or in my mind, are now surfacing gradually. And this was one of the main things they said they were going to discuss. The fact that it's been brought back to the table, it shows that Liberia is. But I agree with him when he said those conditions.
Okay.
Right, but I know that we will pass through, Mr. Sandy. I know we'll make it.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so let me just say something for just in a few seconds. I think, and this is where some of us who like to sound and behave religious, they will come in. Seriously.
Yeah.
When the minister said, he's hopeful, it should engender that feeling and that momentum, that intention, and that desire, in another word,
Yeah.
to pray more. We have to pray because the Sandy said the minister was not straightforward on that to say, look, we've reached the compact. He said, well, we are hopeful that if the people, so this is where we should pray. And it's good that the president has declared Wednesday. So let's go to our churches and the mosque and pray for this country. And I think to get the compact, it depends on God's approval. Even the people who also granted the compact team, even if they decide not to give us the full amount or to give half of it, if God says, well, no, give the people everything, and I like how people,
God has agreed
we have to,
for the 500 million.
So we just have to pray.
Let me add, the media has a responsibility. We have a responsibility to our country on this. Once we get this, we know the impact that we make to our society.
Sure.
So for me, I come here today, or tonight, to really tell the people, keep your fingers crossed.
No, we are hopeful.
And it's going to be okay. It is okay.
But equally so, we must continue to pray.
That's how we pray.
Okay. So, gentlemen, I'm sure we got 5 minutes more to 8:30. Today we saw commercial drivers again, especially those on the highway protesting against this the operation of the traffic, the LTM, the Liberia Traffic Management. Gentlemen, where are we heading? Moses, let me begin with you first. Where are we heading?
Well, I'm sure the both of you will agree with me on this. What we saw today just further speak to the conflict we have in the country regarding this traffic management group.
Yeah, Liberia Traffic Management.
The Liberia Traffic Management Group and the Ministry of Transport. I listened to some of the drivers, and I don't know how accurate is that. I'm sure you, George, and somebody, both of you can speak to that because you guys drive in the country, you go through the registration process. But these guys were claiming that on a consistent basis, they're being harassed. They are being made to make multiple payments. I don't know how truthful is that. So what is happening, if this problem is not quickly resolved, it could lead to a bigger problem. Because, most of our people rely on public transportation. And I saw people stranded today. So anything that the executive can do, anything that the national legislature can do to resolve this problem as quickly as possible, I think that's something that we all should go for. Like the both of you said, let's be hopeful that our people can resolve this amicably because this is not good. This is not good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Okay, George.
Yeah. So in fact, I didn't know earlier that we're going to discuss this. I was there speaking with.
Let's just play the tape. Producer, let's try to upload the protest and see what was happening today, so at least our people who didn't wouldn't see, so they can see on this platform quickly. Let's try to upload it.
So, folks, we want to welcome you back.
Okay, so let's pause it there. Okay, so you saw that, yeah.
we made our position clear the other time. We said if transport can raise $9 million to $12 million or above per annum, why should we sign a contract with another company that will give us far less than that per annum? If transport can raise $225 million for us in 25 years, why should we go to a company that will give us $40 million in 25 years? It doesn't make sense. I think the government needs to take the necessary step to stop this. These guys are ripping drivers. What I'm gathering, I spoke with the director for motor vehicle today. If I knew that this topic would have asked him to put him on, he's willing to come on. Mr. Patrick Pia, he's willing to come on and give us some facts.
We'll find time for him this week.
Yeah. So this is the people already suffering. These guys are scraping to register my own car. In fact, there are separate fees for separate transaction. The people, before you go there, they say they got to check the vehicle whether it's roadworthy. That $100 USD for that.
For what now?
Just for roadworthiness, they say whether it's roadworthy. Apart from registration that have been inflated. Insurance, vehicle registration has gone up. A6, A5 that we drive, or A4 that we drive, it's around $200-300 right now to register. Before you talk about a lesson plate, I mean, how to call it, if you want lesson plate or your driver lesson expired. So the guys, look, I mean, the president, there's no need to waste time with any group or business or any institution that try to bring more suffering to the population. And you waste time with them. You get a right to cancel that concession. The government get a right to cancel the concession. Yeah, there will be little fees paid to the company probably, but you have the right to cancel that concession. Minister Advocate Senator Lieutenant McKay is saying that former president, Weah's signature was forged on that document. This is another issue that should be investigated. That's why the government has the right to put pause on this particular company going forward until such investigation, forensic investigation is complete. Because the government said they have. Gafon said, I mean, how to call it, Senator McKay is saying that the government has different agreement that President Weah signed, and the company has different agreement that it is carrying around. This is serious.
But who's really behind this company? You know, the company of this company. Who's really behind it?
We are hearing the current police director and other people. This I don't know. I have not really. These are all allegations that I have not investigated.
Yeah, surely. You know,
I would like to issue that addendum. Claire, having gone to investigate,
surely.
But we'll be hearing some names that are close to that company. I think we need to go deep into it. But they are not speaking to people. Most of they're not speaking to the
now,
person.
If that's the case, that the company's operation will put more burden on vehicle owners, not just commercial drivers, then we'll have to really look at that.
Yes.
Because if our government is truly a rescue government, you know, you've come to rescue in so many dimensions.
Yes.
You know, not to inflict prices on your people,
Sure.
or inflict the suffering more on your people, and then you call it a rescue. So I'm hoping that this, because the Senate has they endorsed the reached a decision to prevail on the executive to put a pause on the operation of the company. So we're hoping that has been done, and we're hoping that they can really deeply look into the concession and see as to how it's going to better the lives of our people, or better the transportation sector. But you can have a company that will come to operate and inflict more suffering on the people.
What the Senate did, we have a bicameral legislature. The Senate alone decision, I don't know whether it has the authority as a single house to do so, because whatever concession, I believe, that went through the two houses, so it had the House endorse whatever resolution that the Senate may have approved of there. it becomes a resolution that the president could sign or whatsoever. You know what they're saying? To pull horse to those boys a single horse. So probably the person say that's the upper horse. What about the lower horse? It didn't go there. So let's go ahead. So
let's try to just hear from the public a few minutes before our guests can come. Yes. Just
give me just a few seconds. I heard you guys talk about this traffic management company asking people, to purchase insurance. In most developed societies, including the United States, people have the option to choose. No government entity, no institution will tell you, oh, well, Sober, you need to buy insurance from Moses Sandy, or you need to go to Mr. Kennedy to buy insurance. When you go to register your vehicle, what they ask you for is proof of insurance. You may decide to get it for $5. It's up to you. And there are categories of insurance that people buy. There's what we call liability, meaning that your insurance only protects the third party. If your vehicle, you are in a motor accident, you run into somebody, you will be responsible 100% for the maintenance, the repair of your vehicle. The insurance provider will repair the other person's vehicle. That's what we call liability insurance. When they say comprehensive or full coverage, which most of us have on our vehicles, if I run into a motor accident today, my vehicle is going to be repaired by the insurance company if I'm in the wrong. If I'm in the wrong, my vehicle will be repaired by my insurance company, and my insurance company will also repair the other person's vehicle. If someone dies or something terrible happens, the insurance company pays as high as $30,000 for every person affected. And also, I don't know why you will have one company telling you, oh, well, you need to pay $300. You need to pay. No, the people should have the option to choose. Where to get it? Yes.
Okay, Moses, let's try to get to the public, to hear from the public as to what do they think about today's protest by some commercial drivers against the operation of this LTM. Let's try quickly. The first caller is on the line. Let's take this caller. Your name and where you calling from?
David Coty calling from my house.
Okay, let's hear from you, Mr. Coty.
Let me say good evening to my two good friends, and thank you both. I agree with you on the first and second issues. The second one concerning the transport. Let the government do something about it now. We don't want any further trouble in this country. If our Minister of Transport can generate that kind of money in a year's time, why must we go to other people? We cannot have people demonstrating and creating trouble when we can solve the problem right away. And coming to the first issue, I don't want to sound like a pussyfooting like I did the last time, because I wasn't too sure about what was going on. So some people may have felt I was trying to pussyfoot. In other words, I don't want to get into trouble with the police. I don't want to get into trouble with the full of people, but I didn't have much idea on it. But this one here, I think, what was the first topic? Let me get now.
Millennium Challenge account.
Pardon?
The $500 million MCC.
Thank you. I think, like Mr. Kennedy said, I think it's coming to us. But Mr. Sandy is also correct. We have to be a little cautious to not be too sure about how much is coming. But I like the way Mr. Kennedy put it. He said that he's 100% sure, and I think I will join you. Let's all pray. Wednesday, I'm going to go to my church.
I'll call for the prayer. We have to really pray.
I will pray. That money must come.
Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. Let's just take a few calls quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. We've been talking about the issue of the MCC compact, and also the issue of the LTM operations. And there were protests today by commercial drivers against the operation of the LTM. That's the Liberia Traffic Management. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Let's take this call quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, you see, for me, I've supported Unity Party throughout. since I started voting, this is my third time voting for the party. But they didn't go or traffic management. I'm against it totally. I'm against it, and the president need to act. The president should not be lip on this one. He need to act. And what surprised me is that people like Mo Ali, Stephen Jones, these are my friend, Robert Wilson. None of them, they are all lip on the traffic management only. None of them speak it out. Even when the class real, they don't talk about it. Jeremy, you don't talk about routine rescue. We must do the right thing, and the right thing must be to commend the House of Senate for stepping in. And I think the legislature, the representative, need to step in too. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take 3 more calls quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. And to our live, you can also call our Lone Star number, 0886-540-987. Again, 0886-540-987. We've been talking about, let's take this caller quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Hello? It seems this call is not ready. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. Or again, 0886-540-987. 0886-540-987. We've been talking about the protest today by commercial drivers against the operation of that's the Liberia Traffic Management. Where do you stand? And also we've been talking about the MCC compact. We understand, our eligibility as a country has been reaffirmed, by the MCC team, and that followed a couple of discussions, engagements by our government with the team. 0778-460-793. Just 2 more calls and I'll wrap it up. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call and to our live. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Okay, my name is Prince Mustafa Kroma from the Board of Nikutan. And I really appreciate you this evening for the topic and discussion. I started listening to some of the callers as it relates to the Ministry of Transport responsibility of giving vehicle lessons and what have you. We should strongly disagree with this. The laws don't need to be broken. The laws must stand. The Ministry of Transport has the authority to regulate vehicle registration and has the authority to give lessons out to people. So if President Bwaka will come out and dissolve the Ministry of Transport responsibility, then there is a need for the citizens to stand out against the decision. And we are urging the House of Senate and also the House of Rep to step in this. Because we cannot sit in a lab and see the country going over the scatter. The laws have been broken. These ministries are deserved to do their function. Everything have been malfunctioning. So there is a need for President Bwaka to redress in that situation. Those people are advancing on this. They should stop.
Okay. 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 Many thanks. We take one more call quickly. 0778-460-793. Our guests are joining us gradually. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call live. Or better still, you can call 0886-540-987. 0886-540-987 or 0778-460-793. Commercial drivers have been protesting today, especially those on the highway. They said they're protesting against the operation of the Liberia Traffic Management for exorbitant charges. So their operation is inflicting more burdens, financial burdens on them. So they don't want the LTM, rather they want to go back to the Ministry of Transport. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call and to our live. Shortly, we take a break and then we'll come back. We'll go straight into our discussion. Tonight, we'll be doing a post-analysis of the oration delivered by Reverend Emmett Don. I'm sure you might have listened to the July 26 guest speaker. He spoke very well. So we'll be looking at some of the things he said. Already the debate it's growing. Individuals who think that in some way he didn't say the actual, but there are others who said no, he was on point. So we'll be talking about that. And of course, our guests include Dr. Aaron Weah. Dr. Weah is from the Duke Collins Institute for Social and Economic Research. He's our guest also on the program. Representative Smoke Mulba, Moswell County Representative. Julius Kanaba. Mr. Kanaba is the president of the Press Union of Liberia. Mr. Fody Masquet also supposed to be joining us. Dr. Lester Tinning supposed to be joining us, and Reverend Dr. Chris Toll. The man also spoke about the church. He said the issue of poverty is not something to spiritualize. See, that was the scene happening nowadays. So we'll have to talk about all of that tonight, very, very shortly. Let's try to take a break, and then we'll be right back to get into our discussion. Just a break for a few seconds. We'll be right back.
0. Let's start.
Okay, so let's start the discussion. Our guests are already here. Let me try to welcome our guests. I wouldn't know who's online quickly. We'll soon get the name. But we'll have Dr. Aaron Weah. Dr. Weah is from the Duke Collins Institute for Social and Economic Research. Dr. Weah, let me say welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba, for having me.
Okay. And also we have in studio the president of the Press Union of Liberia, Mr. Julius Kanaba. Mr. Kanaba, welcome to the program as well.
It is a pleasure to form part of your important platform at this particular time. I'm excited to be with you, with Kennedy and Moses Sandy.
Okay. So we have also, I'm sure, Dr. Christo. Is Dr. Christo on? Okay, Dr. Christo. Dr. To, welcome to the program. And also we have Honorable Mulba is also on. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Saba. It's a pleasure being here.
Rep, welcome also.
Thank you very much, Saba. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay, so getting some feedback. Please mute your mic, and then later on, when you're about to speak, and just put the mic on. Please mute your mic. But in the meantime, let's try to get the first excerpt. The guest speaker. First, he went into the historical analysis of the country. And after which, he made some, expressed some congratulations, some thanks for the president for some of the major gains the president had made, and later on went into challenges we faced, and then he went into how do we build a nation. You talked about some 5 pillars. We'll look into that. Maybe we may let me go up to 11 o'clock tonight. Who asked the Prime FM family to allow us to go to reach to extend to that time. But let's try to play the first tape concerning the presses that he ringed on President Boubacar. Let's talk about that first.
And offer our collective heartfelt congratulations to you, Mr. President, on Liberia's historic election to the United Nations Security Council. This indeed is a profound testament to your steady leadership and your unwavering commitment to positioning Liberia as a responsible and respected voice on the global stage. Thank you, Mr. President, for restoring Liberia's place among the community of nations. Permit me also to commend you on the strides made in fulfilling the promises outlined in your arrest agenda for national development. From agriculture to roads, the rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism, your government has begun to lay a foundation for national transformation. While much remains to be done, progress is being made, and for that, we are grateful. In just a few short months, your government has shown that integrity and public service are not relics of the past, but vital tools for national transformation. Permit me to highlight just a few of these areas. On anti-corruption and governance, just yesterday, the signing MOU between the Financial Intelligence Agency and the Anti-Corruption Commission is an indication that you are taking the fight against our #1 enemy, corruption, seriously. On infrastructure development, driving from Monrovia to Zwedru, I have witnessed firsthand a renewed momentum in road rehabilitation, reminding us that inclusion must begin with access. In addition, the performance of the Liberian Electricity Corporation within the last few months signifies to me that with proper leadership, change is possible. On education, increased budget allocations, teacher training programs, the distribution of learning materials to underserved communities, and new investment in childhood education all speak to a government reclaiming education as a national priority. On health and social services, we see growing access to rural clinics, partnerships with international donors, and stronger support for healthcare workers. The emphasis on maternal health is especially commendable because it relates to saving lives. On agriculture rehabilitation, by elevating food security and empowering local farmers, your administration is realigning a long overdue national dialogue. Liberia must feed itself. If we grow what we eat, we will grow the economy from the ground up. The procurement of fire trucks, the purchase of buses for our national transportation system, these are not just promises, my people. They are actions, and we acknowledge and celebrate them.
Okay, so that's Reverend Emmett Dunn. That's the first part of the speech that we thought was quite necessary to flag. And of course, let's hear from you first, Dr. Weir. You listen to Reverend Dunn trying to commend the president. He commended the president for the strides made in education, agriculture, LEC, and you name it. You think he painted the exact picture of what we're seeing today?
Yeah, well,
in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I think Reverend Emmett Dunn, his speech was very thoughtful, very reflective of the ongoing national development. His speech goes back to the purpose of Liberia, the purpose for which Liberia was formed as a nation state, to be an example in Africa, and how we've betrayed our national promise. But he's still optimistic that with the current leadership, there have been efforts being made to help to put Liberia back on track. So I think it was a good speech. It came from a good place. It had all the right vibe, and it was meant to really trigger a nationwide a conversation on where we are. And it's also very aligned with steps that the president has taken and announcements and pronouncement that the president is making about where he thinks the country ought to go is very timely in terms of ongoing reconciliation efforts. I was here about a month ago on the reburial efforts, so the speech is very timely. It strikes all the right national chords, and people are talking about it in a good way. So I think the speech has been well received.
Okay, and you think the picture he painted about the government's agricultural program, the progress that been made in education, on the aspect of electricity, you think he painted a real picture?
Yeah, in a way. In some way, I think it was a little ambitious in terms of how much is possible with the budget we have, how much is possible with all that is happening. But his speech on that note remain aspirational. That's what I think it is. But can we?
So it's not like an exact picture of what we're seeing today. If you look at it in the improvement in education, he spoke about the training of teachers and budget being increased. It's not what
I would think in the educational sector, we still need enough information to assess that.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me hear from you in a minute, Mr. Karoba. You listen to Reverend Dunn, praising the president, concerning some of the strategies made. You think he painted the real picture?
Well, again, thank you for the invitation. First, before responding,
in a minute.
Yes, before responding to your question, I'd like to say I was at the program itself, and from what I heard from him and from what I have read, structurally, his speech was well organized. Contents were he delivered. In terms of the historical and the basis of the foundation of Liberia, he problematized some of the problems of our society, and he offered what he considers as the solutions, the pathway. The delivery was effective. I believe, like Aaron, he made some rallying calls to our nation. The speech was also inspirational. And I say these things because the discourse of national oration is a discourse essentially about development, about leadership, about the issue of integrity in public service, and crucially about the public interest. So yes, I believe to a larger extent, he painted a realistic picture of the situations confronting our nation, our people, in our society. And so he must
in the commendations, right?
Well, I mean,
accommodations.
Well, the speech is not just about.
No, we're looking at that.
Yes. I mean, he was totally right, because the government took over, like he said, I think 18 months ago. I mean, we cannot be realistic to say the government over the past of 18 months, the government has failed. He painted a realistic picture about some of the successes of the arrest agenda, going by the 5 pillars that the war arrests stand for.
Okay. Let's hold you there, and let's go to Representative Morba. Let's hear from you. You listen to the speech, and you listen to the aspect of the commendations that he made, for the government. And let's hear from you. You think what he painted about the electricity, about agriculture, about education, about the fight against corruption, you think he painted a real picture?
First of all, I think I would like to say good evening to everyone, and good evening to our listening audience out there.
You are speaking for a minute.
I was part of the program. What I think I got from the speech, first of all, he had to lay the basis by giving the historical context. And what he also did was to give the achievement rating for the 2 years, 1 year and a half, because you cannot just go in depth to discuss the issue concerning the challenges. So first of all, what he did was to give all of those achievement rating, and he did a brilliant job to do that. And he tried to get the audience attention and tried to get the government attention by giving them the rating before going down into those challenges that he did. I think as we get down to the discussion, then I will come in with those issues I have. I may have 1 or 2 areas that we have issue with. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from Reverend Dr. Christo. You listened to the first tip that we played, the tip that had to do with the commendations of Reverend Don, commending the president for the strides made in the first, almost 2 years. What do you think, Reverend Dr. To? He painted a real picture?
Thank you very much. I think Dr. Don, he did some good research. He looked at the historical narrative and tried to draw it to the present reality. And from part of the speech, as we go along, I think he tried to do some justice to it based on the research he did. And the reality, sometimes the research is okay, but the reality also is one thing that in terms of the effect of what the reality is, with regard to the impact on the life of people. But I think he did a good analysis from the beginning in terms of his presentation on the health service. He's trying to underscore based on what the international partners are doing, supporting the healthcare sector. And like that.
Okay, thank you. Let me hear from our two panelists. George, you listen to the national orator. You think he painted a real picture of the situation on hand?
Fair enough. The fact is, the truth is that rather, when it is time to criticize, you look at it objectively and criticize. When it is time to say the truth, you look at it also objectively and then say the truth. What he said about improvement in the health sector, in rural connectivity, in education, and, they are all true. There are a lot of improvements being made.
Okay.
But as Mr. To said, we still are waiting to see the return, the impact on the general population.
Okay. Let's go here. Moses, you listen to the initial tip we played, where the national orator commended the government for some improvements in the health sector, agriculture, education, and all of that. You listen to him.
Yes, I did. And somehow I would like to concur with all of you who have said that the orator did an excellent job. In academia, when you critique somebody, you don't want to focus on the negativity. It is always good to come from the strength perspective, and that's what he did. He talked about the progress, the stride this administration is making towards the restoration of illicity to Liberia, the reconstruction or the rebuilding of roads in the country, efforts they're making towards the fight against corruption. These are all significant accomplishments, and we must applaud the administration for that. So when you critique people, you look at the strengths and the weaknesses, and he was able to do that accurately. I know we're going to come to the negative side of it. He spoke about that, but in terms of coming by commending the government, I think it was a very good strategy. You don't just compounding on people. Say the good things, and then later you say, hey, you need to correct this. And he did that excellently. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Moses?
Yeah, I said thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's try to play the second tape and we'll all listen to what Dr. Don, Reverend Don has to say. Let's listen to the second tape, the tape that has to do with the challenges, that you also spell out.
To some of the ongoing challenges we face together. There is a parable that says, when one enters a village, they should listen to the songs the children sing. For by listening to the songs the children sing, you will hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mr. President, your children are singing. And they're saying that corruption is still deeply embedded in our institutions.
What? You got to teach that when you use
And it would
if
take
you want
more
another thing to me
than
different things.
policy to uproot it. It would take more courage and political will from the highest office to the lowest. To the Honorable Speaker and the Honorable President Pro Temp
When you say the
and her
education system
honor,
is good,
the fight
why will you come and
against
say
corruption
Please
is
mute your
yours as well, and not
your
just
microphone.
the
Please mute it. We'll come to you. Please mute it.
The children are singing. And they're saying, Mr. President, unemployment remains dangerously high. We cannot afford to let our people drift into despair, or worse, drift into the hands of those who could possibly exploit their frustration. The people are singing, and they're saying economic inequities is widening. Too many of our people go to bed hungry, while a few grow rich by the minute. We must reimagine a Liberia where opportunity is not reserved for the connected, but for those who are committed. The people are singing, and they're saying that gender inequality continues to rob our nation of its full potential. Women still face systemic barriers, from unequal pay to unsafe public spaces. We must do more to protect them, empower them, and include them. The people are singing, and they're saying that while education has seen some improvement, improvement is not enough. We must push for transformation. The people are saying, Mr. President, like you who walk miles to go to school, children are still walking miles to go to school. They need transformation. The children are singing, and they're saying drug abuse is silently destroying the future of Liberia's youth. Relating to crime, unemployment, and hopelessness. We must act before it is too late. They
We
should
must act
listen.
before it is too late. So, gentlemen, that's the second tape we just played. Let's begin with Representative Sumo Molba on this one. Red, you listen again to the national orator trying to count all the challenges that we faced with unemployment, the issue of drugs, addiction, and you name them. We think he was honest with what he did.
Yeah, Sobo, first of all, from the beginning, I told you, I said that there is something we call the SWOT analysis. In order to get to the weakness, you have to start with your strength. So what the orator did was to get the attention of the president, get the attention of the government by complimenting them from the initial stage. As he went along, he drew the line because, like for instance, there were so many pillars that he came up with as recommendation, a proposal to the government, and they were all the government shortcomings. So if he went on to say that the government is doing well with education, then he went back to say that we need to look at the pillar. Let's look at pillar 3 from his statement to reclaim education as public good, right? It was one of those key pillars. You cannot say that education is moving well, the government is doing well when it comes to education. Then going back, I call that figuratively as sarcasm, right? Where you use something to mean different thing. So from my end, there were so many issues. Yeah, there were so many issues. Like pillar 2, he make mention of, we say we must confront economic prosperity, right? Where there are shortcomings. And he listed then, he said, to enforce the liberalization policy. He went on to say, mandatory. Hello, you getting me?
We'll get there. We'll get there. He spoke about the issue of corruption, economic disparity, but we'll get to that. And the first question is, you just answered that question. Let me hear from Reverend Christo. Reverend, do you think he was honest with the challenge, with painting well the challenges that we face with?
Yes, I think he started this with a parable, which is a very good presentation. You know, he's a theologian, and so he knows how to draw the attention of the congregation. So he presented the topic in a way that it fed up the attention of the government and also the Liberian people by talking about some of the good things, like my colleague said, and then become to bring to our attention the challenges that we have, those weaknesses that we have. Yes, the educational system is fragile. That's although we're trying to make some strides, but it's fragile. The drug system, the drug situation in our country is alarming, and we need to take some actions about it. The whole issue about gender inequality is a serious issue. Are we even practicing it in government, in our very institution? Is another issue. The economic inequality is widening, and that's the situation. People are suffering. So these are things that he's trying to talk about. The unemployment rate. So these things we try to portray them, and which was very good, in his second analysis.
Okay, so let's go here and go to Dr. Aaron. You listen to the second tape, listening to the national orator, trying to count or list so those major challenges we face with. The unemployment is very high, and you listen to him on the issue of drug addiction as well. You see, you were honest enough to paint the actual picture of our challenges.
So allow me first to go back to why we have maintained this tradition over the last 170 years. The tradition of 26 Liberia's National Day, the tradition of government carefully selecting a Liberian of good standing to prepare a 30 minutes, 45 minutes reflection to help, is there to fulfill at least three objectives in my own assessment. One, to lead a process of national reflection on the 26th, and that such reflection is aligned with development priorities. Two, is to challenge government. The whole essence of having a national orator is to stand up there and to challenge government that, yes, you've done well here, you've done well there, but you need to do more on the other side. And then the third objective here is to come up with concrete recommendations in government. So in terms of your question about objectivity and how objective he may be, I think, yes, he tried. I mean, he mentioned the issue of corruption, the issue of unemployment, inequality, the issue of drug abuse. These are not things that you need to struggle to see. You've come in Liberia 6 months, even without Liberian, you get to see it. The country is not in a good place. He has acknowledged that the president has made some great deal of progress in less than 2 years, but he's also saying we can do more, and he's pushing government.
Okay.
And I quite agree with that. And some of what he said, you also have to see it in tandem of the last 5 years. What has national orator said over the last 5 years? Just go back 5 years, and you will see a lot of similarities in what he said. And that he's not alone. And you can see this in isolation of what previous orator said.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Weah. Let's hear from you, Mr. Kanova. You think he honestly painted the challenges that we have?
Well, he's an honest speaker. I mean, from what I said from the beginning, and when you're doing analysis of his speech, you tend to consider that he took into consideration the contexts, containing the challenges, the opportunities, as well as some of the strategies that we can be able to use to solve some of the existing problems. And I strongly believe in what Dr. Weah said. I mean, Liberia has always had a critical tradition intellectually. People who have researched public discourses in Liberia, they've been able to state that this particular critical tradition, in fact, came from not necessarily from those of us who came from the United States as free slaves, but the West Indians, for example, they've got this sort of a critical tradition. And I may not necessarily know much about, Dr. Don, but I think he presented a fair picture. I mean, like Aaron said, the issue of corruption, the issue of education. I mean, the government, compared to the past or the most immediate past, this government has taken an intentional approach about some societal challenges. But again, some of those challenges, they still persist within the society. So yes, I believe he was honest because, I mean, even when you're writing, I mean, I don't want to say it is sort of, sarcasm or contradictions. No, I mean, even us who do academic writing, sometimes you come with a research problem.
Okay.
You're looking for
answers let's
to...
Let's hold it. Yes, sir. You want to come in quickly? But the thing is, gentlemen, let's just look at a major aspect of some of the challenges he made reference to. He said unemployment remains dangerously high. And let's look at it from a broad perspective. Dr. Weah, let me begin with you. What could be the fallout, especially in a country where, like he has painted, that unemployment remains dangerously high? What could be the fallout for our country?
I think he's trying to underscore the risk that comes with having a very youthful population and you having a significant part of that population doing nothing. I stopped hearing the crime statistics from the LMP. They used to for a while read I think every Saturday and Sunday the crime statistics. They were quite detailed. I mean, the reason I mentioned the crime statistics, in that statistics you hear troubling trends about criminality in different parts of the country. In Monrovia you will see a particular trend of criminality. His reflection on unemployment is linked to crime, is linked to instability, and for a country 22 years after conflict, we should be concerned about that.
A country with small population.
I'm currently working along with the National Security Council on the review and validation of the national security strategy. The issues of crime is a big concern, and how these crimes are linked to transnational movement across the Liberian border. So he's spot on with unemployment and the correlation with crime within the Liberian community.
Okay, let us hear from you, Representative Mulba. You all in the national legislature are supposed to be signing major concessions so our people can get jobs. Now you listen to the national orator. He said unemployment remains dangerously high. I'm looking at the adjective he used there. What do you think? What could be the risk to this country, Representative Mulba? Rep, please unmute.
Yeah. Sorry. What I'm saying is that before coming to serve as an orator, the orator did his work by doing a lot of research. One of the major issues we have in Liberia is the issue of the Decent Work Act. I think you just listened a few weeks ago when DeLone and other people told the labor minister that there are jobs that should be given to Liberia according to the Decent Work Act 45.1c. So it's nothing strange for the orator to come and say, look, we have issues, we have challenges as it relates to unemployment. And let me tell you what he did in his Pillar 2, where he outlined the issue of reform of work permit, right? He stated it, there are issues of unemployment, and he went to give support, asking the government, yes, a proposal. One of the pillar, Pillar 2, we have reform of work permit insurance. Liberians need to have their job. Most of the jobs that we have today that foreigners are occupying, from stoves to construction, they need to be given to Liberians so that our young people can take over. If we cannot take over, this is where we have the drugs issue. We will still have young people on the street taking drugs.
So
but if their business won't work, yeah.
It means
Yeah,
that the
go ahead.
legislature will have to do. It means that the legislature will have to play its part of the bargain, so as to
So we
ensure
did
that our
ours.
young people get
Yeah,
jobs.
Sober, we did ours. We did ours. Our thing is to make the law, right? And when we make the law, the work of the executive is to enforce the law through the labor ministry, through the CSA. They have to enforce the law. They need to avoid these things of what people can get for themselves. They just need to make sure that what we have in the book is implemented and let our people have the job. So we will always see, there will always be orator that will say these things if we cannot change and implement our policy.
Let's hold it. Reverend told you heard the national orator. He said the unemployment remains dangerously high. What do you think could be the fallout? What do you think could be the adverse effect of this situation on our country?
Thank you, Saba. But I think the word, the adjective in description of unemployment was too strong by the orator, using the word dangerously. Yeah, it's too strong.
It was too strong?
It's too strong. Dangerously.
Why would you say so?
Yeah,
you're right.
I said that because government is continuity. We have a situation in our country, and we have the whole path of employment, unemployment been wavering, and so with the economy that you have, not having a lot of investment, a lot of into your country, not attracting a lot of work into your country. These are concerning situations, and when you categorize it by the word dangerous, it leads to something that may lead into chaos. So I think it is high. It is high. Unemployment remains high, and it's concerning. And the word dangerously is what I have a little, problem.
Let's hold you there. Let's hold you there and ask Mr. Kanaba. Mr. Kanaba, you think the national orator should have said dangerously high? Should have just said unemployment is high? Do you agree with Reverend Dr. Crystal?
No, I don't agree with Reverend Tool, right? Because the adverb dangerously, it denotes that yes, unemployment can lead to harm within society. And this is crucial because people who did sufficiently in terms of peace studies, they will tell you, see, there is a negative piece and a positive in the piece, right? So let's look at the issue of food insecurity, for example. When you are unemployed, there's a harm that is being caused to your body if you don't have sufficient in the food within your system. Secondly, like Dr. Weah said, the issue of crimes within society. And then you look at the issue of protests. Just recently, a political movement organized a protest in the country because of the cost of living, the issue of corruption within society. And so there are many people in our country who are sitting idly without doing nothing because there is no job or there are no jobs for them. The cost of living, for example, has prompted President Joseph Boakai to mandate his vice president. And perhaps we'll come to that particular aspect. But it's a serious situation. Like the president or the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, he also mentioned this particular issue about unemployment. I like the fact that the representative who is online has spoken about, yes, the legislature is working or has worked to pass laws. But for example, the issue of value addition to our natural resources. We were just at a policy dialogue organized by the Moroccan embassy, for example, about the issue of South-South cooperation. And many people have been able to see that Liberia is getting poorer because we are not transforming our natural resources into finished products in the country. Rather, we are exporting some of these things. And this is problematic and but dangerously. Any protest in Liberia that has got a propensity to lead to chaos, the whole society will be affected on a larger scale.
Let's hold you there. Moses, let me ask my panelists as well. Moses, do you agree with the national orator when he said unemployment remains dangerously high? And why do you think could be the effect of that on our country?
Yeah, absolutely. The orator was absolutely right. Let me provide a little bit of education here. Uh, when the orator said that unemployment is dangerously high, he was trying to draw this correlation. Studies have shown that there's a relationship between unemployment and crime. A good number of people who commit crime are unemployed. They do everything they can to sustain themselves. The first law of nature is self-preservation. The man will break into someone's car because he's hungry. He will break into someone's house because he has nothing to eat. Go to Liberia, and I don't want to put our people down, but a greater percentage of research shows that people who are actually looking for jobs in Liberia, the unemployed population, we're talking about what? 2.8% of the country's population is unemployed. I'm not talking about people who just sitting around and drinking alcohol. I'm talking about people who are actually looking for jobs, but they have not been privileged to secure jobs. Research shows that 2.8% of your population is unemployed. That number is high. There is a relationship between unemployment and addiction. A lot of guys who are using substances, they are doing so because of what boredom. They got nothing to do. They got nothing to do. What do? They go to the ghettos. So that's what the orator was saying, that, hey, we need to control this problem because it has a relationship between crime and addiction use.
Okay, let's hold you there. So Reverend Toll, do you agree to what the national orator said? The unemployment was very dangerous and it was very high. Do you agree? Reverend Toll, kindly unmute yourself. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Reverend Toll? Yes, okay. I was asking you, so do you agree now with your colleagues that it was appropriate for the national orator to have said that unemployment is remains dangerously high?
Yeah, and I will continue to differ with them, because look, if you look at employment, you got to be able to classify what you mean by employment. Right now in our country, we have a lot of our young people who are one way or the other employed by the motorcyclists, the tricyclists. Some of them also are doing the businesses. And so there are others, yes, who are not employed, but there are many also who are employed. But if you want to be able to look at the whole issue of employment, maybe from the statistics they want to give is employment that will be able to pay taxes. But a lot of people also who are employed, who doing some kind of work, but they are not paying taxes to government. So if you say it's dangerously high, we have not reached to that level of being dangerously high. The situation, if you want to look at the statistics, it may look at the whole issue of where you do your research and do your survey and trying to determine from the whole issue of taxes and other things and categorize them into a way which will measure those that are working and paying taxes to the government and those who are not working. But if you look at a lot of people who are not paying taxes in this country, a lot of people working, but they're not paying taxes. And so there's a form of employment, but they are also contributing to society and making some funding. But it's not dangerously high. It's concerning. And I tell you the word that is concerning because this is a situation that we have over the years.
Let's hold you there. Do you agree with him?
No, I think
just in a minute.
It's good to say when it is. The high rate of unemployment in this country is the reason for which the high crimes and the drug addiction is, especially among young people. Dr. Toll is talking about the informal sector employment. The government has made strong inroads in that sector, having the tricycle motorcyclists register, having good number of those people register in the informal sector is good But guess what? Good number of those people in the informal sector, do they really get fair value of their goods and services because they are not registered? The government doesn't recognize them. So they operate in the informal sector, even though they help reduce poverty. But at what rate?
Okay.
So it's good. I mean, I agree with the orator. He said dangerously because high unemployment has a propensity to increase crime.
Okay. Okay, so let's leave you there, and gentlemen, still looking at some of the challenges that you made reference to. Yes, okay, yes. Why?
Let's just very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go beyond the orator's assertion on dangerously high on unemployment. We have to put it in the context of even employment. Let's look at the legislature for a minute. A few months ago, I did a research on how much does member of the legislature earn, and I got to realize the speaker earns around 20,000
monthly.
Monthly, I have the payroll before me. The speaker earns 20,000 and change. The deputy speaker earns around 16,000. Ordinary members of the legislature earn 8,000, and then on that list you have staffs within the legislature that earn about $150. So let's look at dangerous unemployment.
I need to come and clarify that. Yeah, because I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, just put it down. Put it down, Rep. Put it down.
I need to clarify that. Yeah,
people even within the legislature see the disparity. And I'm not speaking of record. I have the payroll before me that I have examined.
You're speaking from facts.
I'm speaking from facts. So
okay.
if you see someone who works at this legislature in the office of the speaker earns so high, and someone who, let's take it for a minute here, he doesn't have a university degree, but how much can $150 do?
Yeah,
you come from your home every day, you feed your family. How much can one? So you have to put the orators dangerously high in terms of unemployment within the context of even employment. People who are employed are almost not employed,
underpaid.
And so he's basically sending a message to the branch of the legislature. What is your own legacy? 18 months after being elected, what are you fighting for? How can member of the legislature go to bed, with a monthly salary like that? And you look, and we are the highest in the sub-region. I think on the continent, Liberia is one of the highest. You have a speaker make so much.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Member makes so much. I know this will stir up some bit of controversy.
Can I come into that?
Rep, 1 minute.
We need to clarify that. Yeah, we can't mislead the public. We need to clarify that.
Yes, go ahead. I think the best thing he should start with is that he needs to tell us how much does he make as a representative. The staff force that he has in his office, how much do they make? Then I think we can have. No, it's not profit. It's the public servants.
Okay, let the rep come in. Yeah. Representative Moriba, you can come with the clarity now. Come in with the clarity.
Yeah. Sometime when you are doing your research, you have to do comparative analysis with the three branches of government. You can not come out and say, look, the representative making this amount. So let me land, please. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me land, please. Let me land, please. Right? You have the executive. You have people in the executive. Can I land, please?
Yeah, Moses, just give time, please. Give him a chance that he land.
You have people in the executive who make more than 11,000 in this country. They take gas slip, not just the gas slip. They go about housing, right? And they also have trash cards. And they are not the people deputy.
Hello,
if you have the minister, we're coming to that. We're coming to your point, right? The 8,000 you're talking about, we have remittance. The 8,000 you're talking about, we have remittance. We gave 2,000 back to government. Government has not come out yet to tell us what they are doing with our 2,000. Right? We gave them 2,000. So their money you are talking about is just 6,000.
When you started doing that?
From the day of all the lawmakers, not just the 55th. From the 52nd, they have been giving money to NASCAR. We haven't seen it in the remitting for NASCAR. Also, they have been giving withholding. We haven't seen a remitting for withholding. You need to ask the executive. That's to shift blame on lawmakers. then they should blame on lawmakers. The issue here is not lawmaker. The issue is to implement those policies. You know how many person that work with different concessions? Like Estela Meta have 4,000 foreigners working. 4,000 foreigners working. And the job, they are all Liberian jobs. They are all Liberian jobs. Let us discuss the issue. We shouldn't share blame. Let us discuss the issue. You have a president who Ryan Lester. You have a president who Ryan one of the expensive Lesters.
Now you're going up
representative.
Honorable, please.
I think the point about Dr. Weah was very clear, right?
If you are looking at the 1 minute,
quickly, I just want to say something. Look, with all respect to Dr. Weah and with all respect to the Honorable, Dr. Weah just cited a particular situation. He wasn't making a comparison. He was talking about the gap between the have and the have-nots. He said, look, go in the legislature. You have a speaker who earns $20,000 monthly. And you have somebody in the very legislature earning $150 monthly. He's trying to look at the gap between the two.
$20,000 monthly with the speaker is not a fight. It's not real. It's not real.
But the man is saying, telling. Oh, okay, Honorable.
So what is the real story?
I need to correct it. I'm there. I'm correcting it. He's wrong.
Okay.
That's not a fight.
How much does the speaker make?
Tell us, Honorable. We want to hear from you. How much does the speaker make?
From the speaker office, we have a year $1.5 million plus, right? Not just for the speaker. You have people who work in his office. You have for stationery, you have for operation and other things. You have to a speaker here.
Let's go to the issue. Let's go to the issue.
The salary of the speaker is quite different from
when you say 20,000. That's not true.
The discussion should not be please, let's be on track.
Representative Moriba.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's try to link this here. Please, 1 minute, gentlemen. I'm sure we'll have to do part 2 of this discussion because we're not just going to play tape, but we have to also go deep into some of the things that the national.
We get these facts. That's all. We should be real to the people.
Rep, 1 minute. Yeah. Let's try to link this now. Let's try to link it to the issue of economic inequality that the national auditor spoke about. He said economic inequality is widening. We played the tip earlier, but let me just read this. So too many of our people go to bed hungry, while a few grow richer with each passing day. So let's hold a rep a bit, and let me go back to Dr. Weah. Dr. Weah, Rep, 1 minute, you'll come again. Dr. Weah, how do we link this to what the national orator said about this whole issue of dangerously high unemployment being dangerously high, and then also linking it to economic inequality?
So I think the link is obvious. Mm-hmm. You have in a society a national budget that is feeding one group of people, and you have the others.
Like you just stated about the salaries of the lawmakers.
Sitting home and just watching other group of people feeding off the country. And it's dangerous because you do not have a neighbor. The representatives talking there should be concerned about his community. The day we have a major crisis here, people who have these privileged jobs are at risk.
They are at risk.
They are a serious risk. You and I have lived in this country long enough to know how people who are perceived to be doing well would be the first target if anything should go down. And so the orator point about dangerous unemployment is an apt description of the current situation we're living in. You have a vehicle, you live in a community, even if you don't work for government. You have your neighbors looking at you suspiciously. They don't know you, but they're not happy that much is not happening in their life and see things happening. One more about a member of the. I mean, the thing here is that public service is not to make money. It's not to be wealthy. That's why people who want to live well and live wealthy go in the private sector. That's where you have all of the competition, all of the opportunity to live well. If you come in government, that's why if you go to Ghana, even there's a Ghanaian who asked me, said, "But why do your lawmakers make so much?" I think the government or the president in Ghana doesn't earn. I need to check. That. But
So are you aware of how much the Ghanaian making? Are you aware of how much the Ghanaian making? Stop fooling the public. Don't do that. Are you aware of how much the Ghanaian making? Can you call the amount the Ghanaian making here? I'm here researching. Come with your information.
Yeah, I know. Just hold on. Hold it line.
So the point I'm trying.
No, but I won't be here. He did misleading the public. You don't do that.
You respond. Yeah.
Too often we take the orator's message and direct that at the executive without looking closely at the
legislature.
What is the net impact of the legislature after 18 months? What have they done? What is the legacy of the legislature? They spend so much time
looking
at the budget.
Let us not also forget.
The legislature is not a discussion here.
I'm coming, Red. I'm coming.
It's not a discussion here. We are discussing the orator speech, not the House of Legislature.
Representative Morba, I'm coming 1 minute.
No, the young man should understand.
Red, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Representative, 1 minute. Let us not only look at the legislature and the executive. What's with the judiciary? Because we understand also the issue of the harmonization has been reversed for the judiciary.
No, but
we are looking at people who are
how many people you have in the House of Legislature? They are 103. When you subtract 103 from that, like bro, we still got the issue. The issue here is 45.1 of the Decent Work Act. You take the I and go through it. That's the issue. You have almost 11,000 foreigners occupying Liberian job, and the young people need that job. They need a job. The issue is not about lawmaker. The issue is about the job out there. Give that job to the people and see whether will have a reduction in the issue of drugs addiction.
Representative Morba, we are also looking at what the national orator spoke about, economic inequalities.
Wait. Let me ask you one question before
under the pillar 2. That's pillar 2. 1 minute, Sober. That's pillar 2. Economic disparity. Under pillar 2, you will see what he talked about. He gets solution. He said reform of work permit insurance.
We'll play that. Yeah, we'll play that. Granted, we'll play that. But okay, let's
don't just take one of the portions and give it a different context.
Producer, kind of fun, active. Let's play that. 1 minute. What are the issue of permit reform? What are that can help also to reduce the salaries, the high salaries, and also bring people, on power with people. Let's try to find a tape. Since you are talking about
when you said dangerous man, you are referring to the issue of work permit.
1 minute.
Not lawmaker.
Let's look at it. Okay, let's try to play the tape. What he said about the issue of how do we address the issue of economic inequality. Let's look at that. Let's look at the tape.
Thank you.
We must confront
economic
disparities.
Okay.
Thank you.
In a country as rich in natural resources as ours, why are so many of our people so poor? This is not just an economic issue. It's a moral one. We must focus on economic justice because peace with our prosperity is fragile. A hungry child cannot wait for microeconomic policies. A farmer without tools cannot wait for a committee's report. And a mother who cannot afford health care for her child does not need promises. She needs solutions. My fellow citizens, we cannot talk about independence without talking about economics independence. It is time we confront a painful truth. Too much of our economy is owned and controlled by foreign interests. While foreign investment is welcome, it must not be at the expense of our dignity. The soul of our economy must be Liberian. Liberians must be actively involved in owning businesses. Liberians must be positioned to create wealth and not just consume it. To do that, we must nurture and grow a vibrant middle class, one that builds entrepreneurship, skilled labor, professional excellence, and innovation. A strong middle class is the backbone of every stable society. It generates jobs, drives demands, pays taxes, and anchors our democracy. We must support small and medium enterprises. We must make access to credit easy. We must invest in technical and vocational training. We must embrace technology so our youth can compete on the global stage. To my fellow Liberian businesses, when government shall have done that, which I know this government will, we must endeavor to prove that we are trustworthy by honoring our commitments to our lenders and to the people we serve. I therefore offer for your consideration and action several possibilities. Possibility A, enforce the Liberianization policy. Fully enforce the existing Liberianization policy for
That's
ensuring that the sectors reserved exclusively for Liberians remain protected and accessible only to Liberian citizens as originally intended. The persistent violation and weak enforcement of this policy have resulted in foreign encroachment, marginalizing Liberian entrepreneurs and undermining local economic growth. The spirit and letter of the Liberianization policy was designed to empower Liberians to play a central role in the national economy by safeguarding key areas of commerce from foreign domination. Government should ensure that the exclusive rights of Liberians in designated sector are respected. No foreign national or entity should be permitted to operate in these protected areas, either directly or through proxies. Enforcement mechanism must include that anyone found in violation of this policy, be it foreigner or Liberian, must face the full weight of the law. B, mandatory equity participation in foreign investment concessions.
Investment. Thank you.
I propose that all foreign investment concessions in Liberia be required to allocate a minimum percentage of equity for Liberian investors. Whether individuals, groups, or institutions, this ensures that Liberians share in the ownership, the profit, and the long-term benefits of our natural and economic resources. Such inclusive participation will build indigenous wealth and deepen our national economic sovereignty. 3C, reform of work permit issuance. Work permits for foreign nationals should only be granted when it is clearly demonstrated that no qualified Liberian is available to perform the job.
Okay, let's stop it there. Let's end it there. That was Reverend Emmett Dunn. Now let's go back to you, Representative Mulba, to continue with your argument on why do you think many of our people do not. Why do you think that the national orator should have said unemployment remains dangerously high, and we shouldn't attribute the problem also to the legislature?
So I think the problem is not with the legislature. When you talk about legislature, then we will be talking about the issue of policy. But I think we have the policy in our book. But I think what the orator was referring to when he referred to as economic prosperity vis-a-vis generously, he was referring to the enforcement of liberalization policy that we have it, but we are lacking of it. With the policy issue, you found out that most foreigners, they are doing business, and we are outside of the framework. And another area he made mention was B, mandatory equity participation, where there should be an equity participation as it relates to concessions. We need to have Liberian who will form part of have a share within profit and to that of concession ownership.
Let's hold it there. Let's hold it there. Let's hold it there.
The last part
Representative Mulba, let's hold it there.
Yeah.
Let's not make the discussion bucket. The issue of unemployment is what we are talking about. Because one of the panelists said that, or no, the guest said that the national orator should have said unemployment remains dangerously high. Now you made reference to the issue of the work permit. How much has the legislature done in trying to effect a reform?
Now I'm on the committee of labor. What we are doing, first of all, is to harmonize the law we have. First of all, we have to harmonize the law. With the private sector, we have law that is being guided by the Decent Work Act. With the CS, we have the CS Standing Order. But then what we need to do is to have a combined law that will govern every citizen of this country. If we do that, then we can now work on the minimum wage to have an increment with the issue of the minimum wage. But then like he said, your partner, he make a statement saying, or your guest said that we make more than other regional about it. But let me just clarify Ghana, like he make reference to Ghana make 252,000 CDs. A lawmaker, an MP in Ghana make 252,000 CDs. Do the conversion of 14 to 1. And you see how much money Ghanaians make. So when we're coming out with facts, we should be very, very correct with our information to the public. Because what you are doing,
let me ask you now. Let me ask you. Let me ask you. We are talking about economic inequality, and Dr. Weah made a reference to salaries being earned by some of you at the legislature, and then trying to also compare with what your lower people are making. Some of them making $150 US, and you in $6,000. How can there be any economic equality in that direction?
When we talk about economic equality, I think we are affected as the lawmaker, because if you take a minister today, place a minister here, place a representative here, we give money on a daily basis, and we cater to the needs of our people more than any other person in this country. Then we stay discussing economic equality. We should be discussing how best we can relate this issue to our people. How can we create jobs for our people? This is what the orator is saying. This is what the orator wants. What are those yardsticks we have to get more Liberians, taking part in the issue of unemployment? What Liberians will have jobs, right? The issue should be how we can tackle unemployment. That should be the issue. And I just listen out.
How does that happen when you are still dragging the
implement the policy? The policy is in the book. How can we implement it? We have 45.1C, 45.1A. Those policies are there. How can we implement it? This is what we should be discussing.
Let's go then and go to Dr.
I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, quickly, and then we'll go to Dr. Weah. And then
members of parliament in Ghana makes 28,017 Ghana cedi.
That's the salary. That's the salary. That's the salary. That's the salary. You have Austin.
Please.
One minute.
Please, you said 200. You said 200 some more thousand. It's actually $28,017. 17 Ghana cedi.
I repeat, 252,000 housing salary, right? Per down.
We talk about net. We actually talking about net salary. Take home pay, gross salary rather. Take home pay.
That's general
add it
income.
up,
That's
everything
general
there?
income. Yeah, they all form part of income. That's general income.
No, they pay.
That's general income.
At the 28,000, it's all like 200 or something.
No,
$28,000.
that's salary there.
Yes,
Think about the
yes,
other side, costing other
Let's
things.
hear from you.
Yeah, Saba.
Yes, sir.
Saba.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the discussion is very interesting. However, but the situation of economic inequality is widening because although the legislature is responsible for appropriation of budget, but let us look at it from the other angle. In most instances, even if Dr. Weah is contracted by the executive to do some work and they want to pay him $50,000, he will accept that. And this is what happened at the level of the executive when the executive has the whole issue is inequality is happening even at all levels of the government. And now you see that there are some ministers and deputy ministers that make higher money, and then there is the whole comparison. The comparison is dwindling, so it's not real. So the person who is responsible for appropriation will also appropriate something high for them. So this is a case you are trying to also project that we need to be able to do something about this because a lot of people are going to bed hungry. So when we want to deal with this issue, we'll not only look at it from the point of the legislature, but we've got to look at it from a holistic point.
Thank you. From the private sector. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Both public and private sector. Thank you.
Let's get
We
want to play the last tip in the meantime.
Yeah, my observation about the legislature still stands. I think this is the first branch of government are supposed to lead by example. Morally, it's disturbing to have a payroll in one institution where a member of the legislature takes on about 16,000, and then you have on the same payroll someone who takes on 150. It's difficult to reconcile that. The argument put forth by Honorable Mulba that they have the discretionary ability to take care of people, that's discretionary. The best way to address that. The best way to address that, you will
all the houses in Lofa. The first branch of government.
Is to
All
put
right,
in policy.
that's the first branch of government. You're right.
Yeah, 1 minute rep. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
This is the first branch of government. Your mandate is to make laws, to come up with policy. You spend a great deal of time reviewing the budget, making budgetary appropriations. If you really care about the people, begin with the people in your office and pay them well. And so that you can lead by example, so that when someone is looking back over a calendar year, will say, yes, the leadership of the legislature is doing well. Someone who was previously making $150 is now making $500, is now making $700. We need to see that in terms of a leadership. We need to see that in terms of a vision. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that. So the argument put forth by Honorable Mulba is flat. You know, it's
what's the percentage that the first branch carrying of the budget? What's the percentage? What's the percentage? You talk about the first branch of government. What's the percentage that we have allocated to us from the budget? What's the percentage? What's the percentage that you have for the people deputy that deal with the people on a daily basis? What's the percentage? We're discussing 800 million here. What's the percentage for the House of Legislature? You do your own mathematics, your own arithmetic, and come up with the figure. And you will see how much low it is for the first branch of government. And you will thank me later.
Okay. Yes. Coming quickly.
You play with all the money. We get you the money. You play with it.
1 minute. 1 minute, Mr. Representative Mulba. You made your point already. Yes.
I think it becomes ridiculously it becomes ridiculously bad for a member of the House to be fighting to defend what he makes in comparison to his staff, right? This issue of patronage politics, we have to do all to end it. Wherein a few people within the government in the cycle, like the House of Representatives, who make more, and then they expect their fellow citizens to go before them and start to kneel down to beg them for money. This is what is happening on a day-to-day basis within our country. Perhaps if you go to the House,
how much does staff make? You have to also listen. You gotta let people know. Don't just say it. How much does staff make? How much does staff make? You get the information out there. It should be factual. How about you stop me? Stay out.
You've not contested the idea that you're making $8,000 and you've not contested the idea that there are staff at the legislature who make 150 or 200 US dollars. You've not contested it. All you are doing
you also
is
have
just shouting
staff
and
on the
shouting.
executive who made less. You also have staff on the executive who made less.
Hello, Rep.
You also have staff on the executive who made less.
My question to you is, before you became representative, for instance, how much were you making as a private Liberian citizen, for example? What were your qualifications? I mean, I like the fact that all of us will participate in democracy.
Let me answer you. I have to answer that.
Yeah,
I have to answer that.
And you say you want
I became a representative, right? Let me answer you, please. Let me answer that question.
Yeah.
Before we became a representative, our own school, our own hospital, right? I get back to society. You don't know me well, right? I got business and money. I employ more than 100 people. Before getting to the House of Legislature, let me tell you, there's a difference between lawmakers.
1 minute, please.
Let him get to the orator.
Just a minute, please. Just a minute.
So let me correct that young man. You know who we dealing with. Someone know me very well. Before being a representative, our own school, university. I'm a young man. You know Maba. Yeah, let me tell you who Maba is.
Just a minute, you'll come back. Please.
Is it not all lawmakers the same? We are not the same.
Honorable Maba, please. Just a minute.
1 minute. Yes,
I think the orator was not only speaking to the government. He was speaking to the Liberian people.
The orator was speaking to Honorable Maba. Let's go ahead with the legislature.
Listen, he was not only speaking to the government, he was speaking to the Liberian people, of which the government is a part.
You're making your way now.
So we have to look at this holistically. The issue of economic inequality is widening. It's not only at government level. Let's look at even in our different sector. Let's look at civil society. At the press union, how much do you pay your people? At the church, how much do we pay our people? At the civil society, how much do you pay your people? Look at the disparity. Have you come up to get the disparity also? So let us look at it objectively. So the issue in economic inequality is widening in our country. It's not one sector, it's everywhere.
1 minute. Representative Morgan, 1 minute. Yes, go ahead quickly.
Yeah. At the press union, for example, right? I was working in the private sector. I was earning close to $3,000. The press union is a voluntary position. So when some of you are making comparative analysis,
no position is voluntary. No position is voluntary. You are employed in a voluntary position. Stop that.
Let's try to play our next game.
Don't skip.
Let's play our next game.
Representative Sumo, you people gotta get some money back to the people.
No issue.
Okay, let's play our next team. Gentlemen, let's play our next team, please. Quickly. Producer, let's let the tape. Yeah.
My 26 is on you. What do I want? I'm glad you asked. Joseph Nima Boyka, a son of humble beginnings. Your leadership, marked by your humility, your character, and commitment, has offered a new tone to our politics. So I encourage you, sir, to lead boldly, to lead transparently, to lead justly, challenge the old order, empower the next generation, fire and don't suspend, enforce the laws, and surround yourself with people of competence and conscience. Who knows that, like Esther in the biblical narrative, that you have come to this royal position for such a time as this. Uncle Joe, tomorrow is not promised to you. A second term is not guaranteed. Act now. Clean up this mess now.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
it for
Let
yourself.
me begin with. Okay. Let's begin with Reverend Dr. Christo. Dr. Christo, you listen to the cell tape we just played, and you listen to the national orator asking the president what he wants for his 26. Let's hear your take. How do you analyze and understand what the orator said?
Okay, I think the orator was talking about action and action that of transformation, action that is now. Like the president stated that there will not be business as usual, and so the orator is taking the president's words that he said you're gonna fight corruption, you're gonna deal with the issue of putting bread on the table of people. So he's trying to say to the president, it's not about tomorrow, it's about now, because it is not about you going for a second term to say, oh, my second term, I will do X, Y, Z. It is about now. So he's trying to get the president back on track to all what he said to the Liberian people through his speeches, that Mr. President, we want you to deliver that political will, we want you to exercise it, we want to see the fruit of what we are saying. And so that was a good opportunity. That was a good opportunity that he had to be able to remind the president. And I go along with it.
Okay, thank you. Representative Molba, what's your take? How do you understand? What's your takeaway from what he just said, from what the orator said? Representative Molba, please unmute yourself. Representative Molba? Okay, it seems like he's not ready. Let's hear from you, Reverend Dr. Dr. To, Dr. Weah, rather. Let's hear from you. You listen to the national orator. The said tip we just played. What's your takeaway?
Well, I think the orator found a clever way to come back to the problems he outlined, the challenges he outlined.
That was a clever way to come back.
That was a clever way. He did a full presentation and then came back because he has identified a set of problems, and in completing, he's come back to the president and say, how can you deal with this? I know because every orator, as I said before, you come, you lead a national reflection, you identify a set of problems, and then you recommend actions to address that. So he came back to the president and say, I've said all of these things, Mr. President, how do you wish to address some of them? Issue of corruption, drug abuse, inequality, and then the dangerous unemployment that we talk about. And of course, I will add the dangerous employment that we see in the places like the legislature.
He did indicate that the president should fire and not suspend. You think that is possible?
Well, yeah. I mean, they have been concerned about the president's strategy of indefinite suspension. Some people think it's not enough. In fact, it's a constructive way of just avoiding someone and just having someone go with impunity. That the president has to go the full circle and fire someone.
Okay, let's hear from you, Julius.
Well, on this particular dimension of the speech, that was what he considered, I think, number 5 in terms of his recommendations that he made, the role of all Liberians in national renewal. And so he spoke about the issue of, the civil service, for example, and then the business community. He came to the religious leaders, and then finally to the president. And this was a significant dimension because from my perspective is that if Joseph Boakai is to become a consequential president, meaning with effects, the orator is reminding him that you have to be bold, you have to be transparent, you have to act. And that is in keeping with good governance practices, right? The issue about suspension and firing of individuals, well, there's one interpretation from President Boakai's cycle. If the president, for example, suspends you and you are replaced, it means that, yes, you are considered technically dismissed. In that one, you should not have an opportunity of applying for a job anyway, because it's like if you apply, say, oh, but it is you that is on suspension. You have to first, pray for your suspension to be removed. But yes, the orator is right that you have to be straight, focused, and bold in your decision making, because you can keep putting people on suspension, and you can keep suspending people, sending them, and without strong actions, because we've seen, for example, the central bank and the former governor, he was put on suspension for time indefinite. Later, the government paid him huge sum of resources. We saw the LTA, their commissioners, it is said, who were on suspension, and then the government reached agreement again to compensate them. So, yeah, the orator is right that the president will have to be bold, and it is crucial if President Bokar is to become a one-term president with effects, he will have to take bold decisions.
Okay.
And the issue of the term of the president, I mean, where he said, a second term is not guaranteed. I'm not too sure that was necessary to be, elaborated at this particular ceremony, because it may embolden the president to have some thoughts about second term. And that is a debate.
You sure of that?
I mean, if people are coming around the president saying, oh, perform, then you go for second term, perhaps.
Okay. Let's hear Representative Molba. Representative Molba, have you muted yourself now? Have you unmuted?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think you can get me, right?
Yes, I can get you. So
the Rush should go for one term.
I listened to the Mr. White.
No, go ahead.
My brother, I'm doing my district. Forget about one term, man. So when you listen to the thing, right? The message is that one people, one destiny, healing the past and building the future. And there is a reference, an attachment to that thing. He said it's not a cliche phrase, right? It's an action. So based on action, I believe that when he said fire and don't suspend, I think that like action, no need to suspend based on corruption, good governance, you have to fire, right? So, and he said that tomorrow is not promising. So in order to build a better future, tomorrow is not promising. When you have issue of corruption, you fire. I think it's just the case of firing people and not suspending them. Yeah.
Okay. So, gentlemen, we've let's play the tape, the last one, quickly. That has to do with the opposition blog. Okay.
So I wanted to say about
quickly.
issue something about this.
Sober, your men are saying one time lawmaker. You gotta let me know your district before you leave here.
Maybe
I'll come here district contest.
And that was immigration who was in place. Who was replaced recently. Other officials that have been suspended have been turned over to the LACC and GAC for audit.
Okay.
All other officials. And good number of them have been charged by the LACC and formally sent to court. Yeah, the LACC released.
The list.
So it's good for us to clear these things so that these people are not just suspended and sitting.
Let's try to play the last thing. Let's try to.
But we gotta follow that sober. We gotta know whether the guys are in the country. Because when the case is sent to the court for prosecution, we need to know whether those people are in the country.
Some are not in the country, but the latest and the release
most of them out.
By the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. Some of the indicted and the officials who are taken to court, they are not in the country. So yes, right. Yeah.
So
did they flee? I want to hide the left.
No, somebody, you have to investigate. No, maybe the left true representative Sumo.
Oh, two representatives Sumo to the left. Okay, let's try to play the last thing quickly on the rule of the opposition.
It's not a spectator sport, nor is it the crowning of any one ruling party. Democracy is the constant exchange of ideas, the clash of visions for the common good. Our opposition parties must be respected, not demonized. They are not the enemy of the state. They are part of the machinery of accountability. A nation where opposition voices are silenced is a nation walking into darkness. Let us not fear disagreement, but let us fear apathy. Let us debate passionately, but respect one another's deeply. Liberia needs strong government, but it also needs strong opposition. Together they form the engines that help the ship of democracy go sailing still. Notwithstanding, we call on the political opposition in Liberia to demonstrate leadership, integrity, and a deep commitment to the democratic principles that unite our nation. As critical stakeholders in our political system, the opposition plays a vital role in ensuring accountability, transparency, and inclusiveness. However, with this role comes a profound responsibility to act in ways that preserve our national unity, our fragile peace, and the public trust. In this pivotal time of our country, it is essential that all political actors engage in dialogue, uphold the rule of law, and reject any form of violence, misinformation, and incitement. Constructive criticism and peaceful advocacy are pillars of democracy, but they must be guided by truth, respect for institutions, and a shared vision for a stable and prosperous Liberia. Our dear leaders in opposition, I urge you to prioritize the long-term interests of the Liberian people over short-term political gain. The eyes of the nation and the eye of the world are watching. Let us rise to the occasion and show that Liberia's democracy is not only vibrant, but mature and responsible. Let peace lead, let dialogue prevail, and let Liberia win.
Okay, well, that's the national orator. Let's begin with you, or Dr. Weah, quickly. What's your takeaway on that?
Yeah, my takeaway again. I'm really delighted that the closing section, has brought full circle to some of the point I was making.
Okay.
The whole essence of opposition is to really challenge ruling establishment towards change. So if we look at opposition, you only see clearly the views and vision of opposition until they get power. But as soon as opposition get into power, especially the legislature, you do not see a party taking on a position and holding on to that. For example,
my brother won't be lawmaker, I swear.
No, please wait. Please wait.
You do not see you. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So you only have an opposition when he doesn't have a power. But as soon as he's entered the legislature, the views of the ruling party and the opposition views are almost indistinguishable. This is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
My institutions have done research on that. So I'm not just speaking off the cuff. We've done research on this. We've published it. And so what the orator is saying, that opposition should not lose their vision, should not lose their role. It is good for our democracy for an opposition to remain an opposition, to remain critical, to govern by a sense of integrity, and not to lose your way as soon as you have power and you sound almost like a ruling party.
Okay.
It doesn't help a democracy. We still need the opposition voice to be critical. What is on issue of budget, what is on issue of labor and employment, we still need that. But you go to the legislature and see the voting pattern, how opposition vote. It doesn't reflect the unique position of a particular party.
Okay.
It just reflects people who are in there trying to align with power brokers.
Okay.
That's all we see.
Okay. Reverend Toll, let's hear from you on this one. Reverend Toll?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you on this one.
The orator coming here is trying to project an ideology of unification, working together in collaboration as a country to achieve the common good of the country. So he tried to say that opposition, imposition, position, we are all one people, and we should not look at the whole issue of demonizing each other. We should look at the issue of working together to move our country forward, because the whole aspect of governance is about the change of the lives of the people. Today, you may be in position and another person may be in opposition.
Okay.
At the same time, the whole idea of accountability should not be swayed away. And so we should stand together as one people. We should work together. We should not look at the issue of demonizing one another. If we want to investigate, let us investigate and let our investigation be concluded. We have a lot of inconclusive investigation carried out. It happened in the past, and it's ongoing now. So we need to work together. The whole issue of integrity, he reflected that, and which is very important. That will bring that will promote democratic principles. So I think he was on a good line, trying to portray that whole idea, also working together as one people.
Okay, Representative Mulba.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. From my end, I think the orator was like referencing two people. First, the government to that of the opposition. So let me first of all say that not all research that people do has a strong hypothesis. So when I listen to the first responder, I think not all of those research have a strong hypothesis. So we cannot depend on it to have a strong facts. So with the issue of government, he said that government need to have an inclusion where you have a decision from all ends, right, where you accept people's views. Then he went on to the opposition and said that they need to avoid the type of prep mentality. When you are not there, the one who is sitting there cannot function well. So it was a lot that he was like a lesson that he was like sending to our people from the both end, from the opposition to that of the government. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Julius, so can open last briefly.
I think this was a salient point by the national orator because the roles of political parties, especially opposition parties, have not been clearly defined in our context. And then the issue of the institutionalization of opposition politics, especially outside of the political party in a critical institution like the legislature, has not been strong in Liberia. In fact, I would argue, in terms of hypothesis, that opposition...
That's a lazy and weak hypothesis when it comes to the legislature. You won't be lawmaker when you are not there. You say opposite thing.
Yeah. So
when you get there, now you remain the same.
My argument is that we've
mentality we're talking about, traditional mentality
of time. Yeah, we've seen across a period of time that political parties, especially opposition representatives, are some of the weakest links of governance within our country. Because whenever you go to the legislature, I mean, you don't belong to even a political party again. You go by where the dollars are. Especially, we saw the case.
You are making a very strong insinuation.
I mean, you saw Representative Smo and others in those parties switching, or in the blocks, in the switching in the speakership battle.
It's the government is the president's government.
Yeah. So the issue about this issue of contentious
when you want to know who I'm with, it better you ask who I'm with. Why if I say I'm with your party?
You switch side where the dollars were, then where you went.
Which side? Pardon, the dollars? You don't know me well. I don't chase dollar. I give people money. No,
okay,
someone will tell you I don't chase dollar. So a good research on research on me. I don't chase dollar. That's the fact. Someone tell me my establishment. I don't chase dollar. What you saying?
The guy is heavily established.
Yes. So the issue about contentious politics, right, in terms of the opposition in the ruling in the establishment, that will always exist in the country. But the fact that the orator is talking about this issue of constructive criticism, exercise or demonstrate leadership. I mean, those are virtues of a democracy. But democracy, like you said, is not a spectators in the sport. People will have to do all to demonize the ruling establishment. The ruling establishment will have to do all to make the opposition to look irrelevant.
Okay.
So the only way the opposition can become stronger, for us, we believe, is through
the message there. I want to ask you, what's the message there? Yeah.
No, it's not about the message. It's about analyzing the message, not about recounting. I mean,
Okay, so
But you still dancing, you're not analyzing anything. You're just dancing around it. Wasting our time. Wasting our time.
Let's take a few calls.
You're dancing around the thing. That's good.
460-793.
You scared it will take a job on you?
0778-460-793. That's the number to call, or better still, 0886-540-987. You want to participate on this program, you can call 0778-460-793, or better still, 0886-540-987. You are listening to the Nighttime Heat, right here on Prime FM 105.5. We are also being relayed by Radio Gegeman, that is in the Nimba County, Radio Kwatika in Bonk, and of course our Radio Wulagisi in Lofa County. Witness FM in Monrovia is also relay this program. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0886-540-987. Two numbers, 0886-540-987. You call any of those numbers, you're going to be live on the Nighttime Heat. 0778-460-793. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Let me say good evening to your fellow brothers.
Okay.
This is Quill William Coffey, and I joined this conversation from district number 3 Moswada County. Let me appreciate all of you for your thorough analysis. Look, I think when the orator said, when the orator spoke about financial inequality in the government or Liberia, because both the private and the public sector, I do agree with him. But when it comes to the government meeting, the legislature is mostly involved within that financial inequality. These guys should look at one person's salary to put two persons on it. All of them, majority of them in our house, even including my own honorable, now on the show with you, put two persons on one salary. The government
need one person from my office. I will not have an agent from Bashir saying that. You work with Bashir. Bashir made a lot of money. Bashir share more than 3 positions. So need one person in my office. And I resign tonight. Need one person in my office. Need one person tonight in my office. I resign tonight. I will tell you before I resign.
Okay.
Why you lie on radio? I'm gonna young man so.
Let the man end. Please let the man end.
Bashir tell you. Bashir are wrong, man. Go ahead.
So let's be clear. Even when it comes to the executive, if the executive was to buy the vehicle for a
no, go back with the legislature. Go back with the legislature.
Yeah, man. To dismissal or resignation, last minister will turn the vehicle over to his successor, right? But the legislature, just last year, ask my honorable in studio, last year the government bought them vehicle.
Okay.
If today, Honorable Sumo was to leave that office, he will go along with the vehicle. He will not turn it over.
So what are they with the vehicle? What are they with the vehicle? Are you on your center you have there? You're taking about college. I don't need vehicle. I got more than 5 cars in my yard. Yo, man.
Let's take another caller on the line.
Don't do that.
Rep, we're trying to take another caller on the line. Good evening.
Don't do that.
Okay.
The Bashar man, I see the Bashar coordinator.
Rep, please. Yeah, 0778-460-793. We have to protect the callers, please, Rep. 0778-460-793, or better still, 0886-540-987. Good evening.
Good evening, Sobol.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the show. Good evening to your discussants in studio tonight. My name is Isaac. You say when I call you from Clifton Boulevard in Gardnersville.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to also extend this thanks and appreciation to our national orator for the 178th Independence Day celebration here in Liberia. I think the national orator meant well for the common people in Liberia, those who can afford paying LEC bills, who can afford getting pipe-borne water, who can afford getting transportation to move about in Monrovia, and those who are not employed and they are moving around begging to make life at the end of the day. The national orator was calling the national government, headed by Mr. President, Honorable Boaka, to a concern of the ordinary people in Liberia. And this is a need. It is a need for our government holistically to see reason, to come out with plans to improve the lives of the people. When he said unemployment is dangerously high, I think this should not offend Representative Moba. Like I hear him making comparison of the wages of our legislator to that of Ghana, it's shaking me a lot. Because you cannot compare the development of Ghana to that of Liberia. The Ghanaians put Ghana first, but Liberians put themselves first ahead of the country's interest.
Okay.
So, I want to call on the government, headed by President Boaka, to do all they can. Like the orator said, tomorrow is not too enough. Let the government act now to ensure that the lives of the citizens gets better. People are suffering in this country. People are unemployed, and nothing good is going on. The criminal rate is very high.
Okay. All right. You made your call. Let's try to take another call in the line quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. George.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
This is Samalu David, the resource officer in the offices of Honorable Boba.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I've been sitting home following the show from its inception, but I'm constrained to call tonight, especially in regards to the allegation made by one of your callers that in the office that I work as the second man in command, that we have people who are 2, 3 on one slot. First, let me say that the information provided by this young man is far from reality. And this is something that we should not even encourage. If other lawmakers would do it, it is not Honorable Mother. When you come to the office, we have 16 persons or 16 slots. Everyone on that slot, they are one individual and they receive their salary and all other benefits attached. All right? I just wanted to make that, that clarity.
Okay.
But to the show, you know, I'm very impressed tonight, especially with your panelists and your guests. Why it is true that people have to play the devil advocate and what have you, but the truth here is that the orator for this year, July 26, our independent, he was straight to the point. All right, he was acting like the what you call the baby man rod, right? He will fight and then blow. But to be frank, more need to be done. The president is doing well, but more need to be done, especially when it comes to the issue of job creation, when it comes to the issue of fighting drugs and crime. And all of these things can only be done when we respect the rule of law. And those are mantra or the pillar that the government came on. So
Many thanks. You made your point already. Let's get additional calls. 07, maybe about 3 or 4 calls quickly. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. That's the number to call. Or better still, 0886 540 987. Again, 0886 540 987. Let's take this call up quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, come here.
I'm okay. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I just said in my calling for Southern.
Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you, my brother, in this country, they have to see the reason I will be honored to one for representative a senator and for president work. Now, the senator, you see the money, what they're discussing. We the driver now, I want to stress. We honor said that it's salary to get out on your money. So what about the citizens that are in the country? What is here about the citizens? So we are begging Joseph Boga, let Joseph Boga make sure that see about the job, the top people that see about us. Now they say that we must be 3 in the taxi. Gasoline is expensive. Police are rushing off.
Okay. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Okay. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jokai Flomo, and I call you from Monrovia.
Let's hear from you, Jokai.
Let me say thanks to your panelists. in studio, especially if they are not in studio, perhaps, especially our distinct astute young leader, Honorable Smokey Moba, for always having his time to contribute to the public discourse.
Okay.
And for the topic under discussion, and let me also applaud, if we consider the topic under discussion, our 178th Independent Days orator, Reverend MS Dunn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my existence, I haven't witnessed such a unique oration in my existence than what I witnessed on the 26th.
Okay.
And it's just short. If we envisage a better tomorrow, we must act now, and we must act positively now, and across all sectors. We cannot envisage that tomorrow when we cannot take those bold actions that will lead us to that better tomorrow. So I admire him, and I want to appreciate him for that. That's just my contribution on the show this evening.
Okay, let's take 2 more calls and then wrap it up. 0778-460-793. Let's take this caller quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Good evening to all of the panelists on the show tonight.
Okay.
So, I have a question for the Honorable, in studio Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
So, Honorable, how do you feel, or what is the difference between you as a family here making more than 5 or 10,000 government buying everything, everything, and a man who is taking $50 family here? What is the difference between you and the civil servant? Thank you.
Okay, let's get another call on quickly. I'm sure the Honorable is taking notes to respond to that. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
I want to know from the Honorable whether he knows whether the citizens are suffering in this country and keep prices stay high. Whether he knows that. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's take this caller quickly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Mr. Good evening to all of your panelists.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Stephelos Tito II, and I'm Imovia. So, the conversation tonight is good, unless that I'm, continuously I'm disappointed in the representative.
Mm.
The representative should be an intellectual. He should be someone, who is open to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that his appearance on the show is not open to criticism at all, but he criticizes people. If someone is making a point against you, you have a time. You are a panelist on the show. Allow the person to make that point. The person only have 1 minute. You have the time. You can respond to the person. But for you to keep interrupting a caller or even one of your colleagues, panelists who is making a point, then you are not bringing understanding to the discourse, because the essence of this is for us to learn where the government is going wrong, where the government is making progress, what can we do to cover the wrong that has been done. But if you keep interrupting the points from the other colleagues, then it's not making the show to be a good thing. But on the overall, I think the conversation tonight is good, centered around the message from the 175 orator. The panelist said that he spoke both ways. He spoke both to the government and even to the opposition, and even to those who are not also in position.
Okay.
That we be able to take up responsibility.
Okay, many thanks. We really appreciate you. Let's try to go around the table to get response and parting comments so that we can take leave of our team tonight. Let's begin with you, Reverend Christopher Toh. Let's begin with you quickly, Secretary General of the Council of Churches. Reverend Toh, kindly unmute yourself. Let's begin.
You can guess it.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Your response and parting comment.
Who now? From my end?
Reverend Toh. Reverend Toh.
Oh, Reverend Toh.
Kindly unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, we want to hear from you, your response and parting comment.
Okay, thank you very much.
In a minute.
I think that, in a minute, President Bouaka understands the suffering of the Liberian people. And so the presentation of the orator, I think, is in line with what he wants to do. And so it's a motivating factor for him as a president who understands poverty, who understands that the country, really, as he usually say, even when we come in his presence, that this country needs a revival. And sometimes he say to us as the religious people, you need to pray for Liberia. So he means well for this country. And so my party comment would be in 30 seconds to say to all Liberian people, let us come together and work for the forward movement of our country. Liberia is a common denominator that we have. Let us try to make it work. Let us take Liberia first. It's the only Lone Star that we have in Africa. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Let's hear from Representative Molba quickly. Reb, let's hear your parting comment, your response and parting comment.
Yeah, George, so sorry, I will just call, I think I'm leaving now. I will just call because of my son. My son is not too well, very sick. They just called me. But yet, I will say this, I will say this to one or two of the comments that were made. I think I want to make a reference to the issue of the discussion, intellectualism. But let me say this. We have what we call in debate, we have rebutter. When you say something that is not factual, we rebut it. You don't give it a chance to label. So and to the Liberian people, I would say from my end, based on what the orator said, it's just something to challenge the government. And I think Bouaka is doing well. We need to give the president the chance to do more, because we have just gone 1.5 years to reach to this level as it relates to poverty. I think we see the rating of poverty. We see the rating on inflation. The government is doing well. They need more time. So again, to the Liberian people, we will argue, we have the debate, but all in all, the government is doing well. Let's give the president a chance to do more.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Dr. Weah.
Well, from my end, I would say the orator message is clear. There is a subtext in the message where he called on all Liberians to be involved. He made a general appeal that while the message, particularly directed to the president, the legislature, and the judiciary, and he thinks that this is where the country is. It's a matter of everyone getting involved, everyone trying to make a difference, everyone trying to do as much as he can. And I think that's why he titled the paper "People, One Destiny: Healing the Past and Building the Future." So I think it's a message for everyone to be involved and support the process.
Okay. Yes, Julius. 1 minute quickly.
Yes, from the orator's speech, I think it was an excellent speech delivered to the nation. It is a speech intended to rally all of us, especially those in positions of authority, to serve with integrity, to demonstrate leadership. We hope that the national government, different actors in society, they will take some points from the orators in the speech to ensure implementation, because this is very critical. People have been asking, yes, we'll listen to all of the beautiful and nicely or excellently written in the speeches, but what's next? So the president has started on some of the points elaborated by the national orator, especially on the issue of the economics and the disparity. The issue of the costs and of living is very essential. Price and the stability, inflation is high in the country. So we hope that we can learn from the national orator, but we can also tap. And one of the points I've been pondering is that this national orator, he's from within because he serves as an ambassador at large for, I think, partnership and philanthropy. To what extent, for example, has President Boka been giving him some audience on the corridors? To what extent is President Boka listening? And when I say President Boka, I mean the president and his team. To what extent are they, listening to him? Because for somebody from within to come publicly, I mean, the last orator was an academic, Reptile. She's from the outside. She gave her own analysis, and some of the points elaborated by Reptile 1 year ago. The very
similar points.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean those points were elaborated.
All right.
So it is essential that we focus on it. And for me, I summarize the speech as a speech. I mean the oration as a speech on development.
Okay.
Because
we hold it there. We hold it there. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you,
Thank you.
George Kennedy.
Thank you. Everything is said, but I'd just like to add that in order to engineer the Liberian economy, the private sector, the government need to subsidize the private sector would be in the form of tax waiver or tax reduction to increase, to expand the private sector and create jobs for the economy. I would also like to look at the income tax. Let the government look at the income tax, the personal income tax. Right now, because of the economic constraint, they could reform it, try to reduce it, bring it downward to see how people working will be able to take more money home. I could also look at, as the speaker said, to look at the protection, the promotion, and enforcement of the liberalization policy. It's very important to create jobs. When we do this as a country, we see the impact.
Okay.
Yes, for me, but I agree with what everyone says. They want
Okay. Before we go, let's try to recognize some of our viewers. Ophelia S. George says she's been watching from home. Siliki Traore didn't say from where he's been watching. Momo James Corval from Cinco, he's been watching. Asna McPhaser Pele, he said he's been watching from Point 4. Henry T. Toad Jr. been watching from Corwell. Alex didn't say from where. Joseph B. Coyon didn't say from where. Amada Cocos John didn't say from where. J. William Bayan from Parker Pin Junction. Kaz W. Kapi didn't say from where. Amos Y didn't say from where he been watching. Ernest Johnson from Radio Gegama in Ganton, Nemakani, one of the stations that relayed us. Christine S. Weir didn't say from where. Clara Kuju Mala, good friend of us, didn't say from where. Moses Momolu from the USA.
Clara Ingomotown.
And DJ, I don't know from where. DJ Teaser from Dubai. Well, thanks to all of those who have been watching. Let me say thanks to all my guests and panelists. I will be back. That is on Wednesday by God's grace.
On the holiday.
Yes, on the holiday. Until then, have a pleasant night. Sabo George is my name.